Greetings, 'tis I. I hope you enjoyed the last episode of Science Club with Brandon. You'll be seeing a lot more of him, as we'll be alternating from now on. But now, without further ado, the riddle of the day. Now, I'll be frank here. You guys aren't really answering these riddles.
You guys know it just moves. I want to see some movement. I'm not seeing enough movement.
Now, I want to simply ask of you to at least try, and hey, you might get it right. Remember that the winner earns a prize for himself. Right here. So, 4 golfers named Mr. Rosen, Mr. Erickson, Mr. Daniels, and Mr. Carlos were competing in a tournament. The caddy didn't know their names, so he asked them. One of them, Mr. Daniels, told a lie. The first golfer said, "The second golfer is Mr. Rosen." The second golfer said, "I am not Mr. Carlos." The third golfer said, "Mr. Erickson? That's the fourth golfer." And the fourth golfer remained silent. Now, which one of these golfers was Mr. Carlos? Place your answers down below. For today's scientific endeavor, we are going to use pressure to crush a soda can. But first, here's the list of the materials you will need. 1 empty and clean soda can, a hot plate, pot, or any other heating mechanism, tongs, small bowl, and water. Take the small bowl and, filling it partially with cold water, set it aside for later. Pour a little water, not very much, into the can. After preparing your heating mechanism of choice, heat up the can until it boils. After the water is boiled, grab the can with tongs. Turning it upside down and place it into the water. The can instantly implodes into itself. Now, there is another variation of this experiment which I thought is worth showing you guys. The general premise here is the same, except instead of a can, we shall use a glass bottle and a microwave. Like in the previous case, we want to pour a little water into the bottle, but now we will place it into the microwave. How long you microwave it for will dictate the size of the reaction, but around a minute should do it. Wearing oven mitts, take out the bottle and quickly place the opening into the water, and watch as the water fills the bottle. The explanation for the effects seen in these demos is actually very simple relative to those in previous episodes. The water boiling in the can and bottle evaporates, and that newly formed water vapor pushes out most of the air out of the containers. Then, when you bring the can or bottle into contact with the water in the bowl, all of the water vapor suddenly condenses. Remember, you only added a little water, and despite the water vapor filling up most of the can, liquids take up significantly less space than gases, and the inside of the container will create an area of very low pressure. Now here's where the two cases diverge. When it came to the can, the relatively higher pressure on the outside of the can pushed the walls inside, essentially causing the can to implode on itself. In the bottle's case, however, the glass ended up being much harder and structurally sound than the thin aluminum, so the force instead affected the water, where the force of pressure acting upwards won out against the force of gravity acting down, until a certain point, which is dependent on how much air was pushed out by the vapor, thus in turn how long you microwave the bottle for. It should also be noted that the can takes in some water as well, but most of the pressure is used in pushing the walls. Rightio then, that does it for this week's edition of Science Club. Once again, humbly ask you guys like, comment, subscribe. Really helps us out knowing that you guys enjoy watching and want to see some more. God willing, the club will return to its normal format the next school year, but until then, we're doing our best to film these with a bunch of schoolwork on our hands. So, with that, see you all till next time.